Hey, what is going on everybody? It's your boy Blue and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at what I believe to be the best ranged DPS coming into Shadowlands, the Beast Mastery Hunter. That's right, WoW's most hated on class is getting some even more unwelcome changes, and spoiler alert, they're mostly good. Don't get me wrong, there are going to be some nerfs, but the buffs that are coming are going to more than make up for it. In this video, I'll be going over all the changes coming to baseline abilities, beast mastery abilities, talent changes, and everything else you need to know to make your decision on what class to play going into Shadowlands. It's going to be beast mastery. Guys, if you do find the video useful, please be sure to give me a like and subscribe if you want more useful videos just like this. And on a side note, be sure to stay till the end because one of these changes is literally a game changer for the spec. So buckle your seatbelts, kids, and let's get right into why Beast Mastery Hunter mains should be really excited and everybody else should not be. Let's get into it. Alright guys, I just want to give you guys a heads up. All this information is coming from Wowhead. I will put a link down in the description if you want to check the base article. So let's go over some highlights real quick. First of all, baseline abilities that we're going to be getting: Arcane Shot, Eyes of the Beast, Hunter's Mark, Kill Shot, Scare Beast, and Tranquilizing Shot. I will go over these in more detail as we get into the video. But more excitingly is our stable size increase. It says we will have a significant increase in stable size. Now, as of Battle for Azeroth, we are able to hold on to 65 pets at a time. So, if this stable size is really going to be significant, I'm assuming at least 100 stable slots, if not more. Alright, now let's get into the Hunter baseline ability changes. First of all, Arcane Shot is actually going to be getting a nerf, unfortunately. It used to cost 15 focus, and now it's going to cost 30. Shouldn't be too big of a hit for us Beast Mastery Hunters, so I'm not too worried about it. Next up, Concussive Shot is going to replace Wing Clip. Wing Clip belongs to the Survival Hunter spec, so it doesn't really concern us that much as Beast Mastery Hunters. And they're both 50% slow, so it shouldn't be too big of a difference anyway. I think Concussive Shot is a little bit shorter duration than Wing Clip, but still, not too big of a change. Next up, Disengage is going to get a bit of a rework. It still does the same thing, but currently, Disengage Rank 2 reduces the cooldown of the ability by 10 seconds. Now, they got rid of that, and they're making Disengage as a baseline ability a 20-second cooldown instead of 30 seconds. This is definitely a good thing. Now my computer's bugging out a little bit, so I can't take a screenshot of it, but we are getting a new ability called Eyes of the Beast. Now it says, take direct control of your pet and see through its eyes for 1 minute. Pretty interesting. You're going to be able to scope out areas. You're going to be able to distract. Ooh. You're going to be able to distract enemies with your pet, walk them away, and then move forward. That's insane. So Eyes of the Beast, taking control of your pet for a minute. Pretty freaking cool. Another new ability we're getting is Kill Shot. It says you attempt to finish off a wounded target, dealing however much attack, physical damage, only usable with enemies less than 20% health. So we are getting a new execution ability. This is more than welcome. I don't know how many times I haven't been able to finish off a target, but I've gotten him just to the end. Misdirection is getting a bit of a rework. It used to redirect your threat to whoever you were targeting as soon as you cast it, but now it says misdirects all threat you cause to the targeted party or raid member, beginning with your next attack within 30 seconds and lasting 8 seconds. So instead of it starting instantly, you're going to be able to click misdirection, go into your engagement, and then it's going to activate when you start attacking instead of you having to throw it into your base rotation. This is just another good quality of life update for us. Unfortunately, Revive Pet is going to be a 6-second cast up from 2. So that's going to hit us pretty hard, especially in PvP. But it is what it is, and I will say that that's probably the worst of the nerfs that we're getting. We're getting a new ability called Scare Beast. It says scares a beast, causing it to run in fear for up to 20 seconds. Damage caused may interrupt the effect. Only one beast can be feared at a time. I honestly have no idea when this ability would actually be useful. If you guys do have any ideas, go ahead and let me know down in the comments just for my own curiosity. Steady Shot is now going to be available for all specs and not just marksmanship. So we're going to be getting Steady Shot as BMs. I'm not sure how that's going to work as a survival hunter, since you're a melee class, but as Beast Masteries, we are now getting steady shots. Alright, moving on from our ability changes, let's get right into the baseline Hunter talent changes. So, first of all, Barrage is getting a nerf just like all other AoE abilities. It's going to only hit 8 enemies in front of you instead of all enemies. This is actually better than most of the AoE abilities going into Shadowlands, which are capped at 5 enemies. Binding Shot is now going to belong to Marksmanship only, so we will be losing out on that. And Marksmanship is also getting access to Chimera Shot, but Beast Mastery is going to hang on to that spell as well. A small nerf coming to Hunter's Mark. It used to be if you killed the enemy with Hunter's Mark on it, you would get an instant 20 focus. Now that's being taken away. So the baseline ability is still the same, increasing all marked target damage by 5%, but you're just not going to get that 20 focus generation. Alright, that's enough of the basic stuff, guys. Let's get right into the meat of the video, the Beast Mastery spec. So for our Beast Mastery ability changes, Beast Cleave is now going to be capped at 5 targets instead of all targets in front of you, just like every other AoE. Bestial Wrath will be available at level 1 instead of level 54, which really makes sense with the level squish, but that's just something to note. However, Bestial Wrath rank 2 will not be unlocked until level 47. Cobra Shot's getting a bit of a rework. They're getting rid of rank 2 and they're making rank 3 rank 2. So, rank 2 used to be reducing the cost of Cobra Shot by 10, but now rank 2 deals 100% increased damage. So Cobra Shot's going to cost a little bit more, but in the long run, honestly, I don't think it's going to matter, and I'll get into why in just a second. Unfortunately, Kill Command is getting about a 5% damage nerf. So yeah, that is the thing, but I don't think it's going to be too big of a deal, and I honestly don't think we're going to notice it. Multi-Shot, instead of hitting your target and all enemies, now hits up to 5 targets, just like every other AoE ability, as I have said. Now, this is the one that you wanted to stick around for. Beast Mastery Hunters are getting a new passive ability called Pack Tactics. Says passive focus generation increased by 100%. 100%, you guys. That means we're going to be generating focus at twice the rate we have been. This is exactly why the Cobra Shot changes don't really impact us. And oh my god, you Beast Mastery Hunters know there comes a point when you're doing your rotation where you run out of focus. You just run out, and you have little to no ability to regenerate that focus as quick as you need it. Eventually, it's just gone. This change will make Beast Mastery Hunters feel so much more consistent, so much more viable, and so much more consistently deadly. You're not going to have those points where you just can't do damage. It's not going to happen anymore. You're going to always be on your rotation. Now, I know it's a simple rotation, but by God, Beast Mastery Hunters are going to feel so much stronger. I'm telling you, watch out for them. Finally, let's get into the talent changes, alright? So, Aspect of the Beast is getting a healing effect added. It used to increase the damage of your pets by 30%. Now it increases the damage and healing of your pet by 30%. This is going to be awesome if you're running Spirit Beast. Anybody who knows the Spirit Bend ability, this is going to increase the healing of it by so much. Now, the Spirit Bend recently did get a buff to actually make it viable, but now, taking Aspect of the Beast with a Spirit Pet is going to be choice. We're getting a new ability, Bloodshed, which is basically a bleed, but it also increases all damage taken by your pet by 15% for 18 seconds. This is going to be in the final row, replacing Spitting Cobra, and it seems as if Aspect of the Beast actually has a contender in the level 50 talent row. This ability is going to be on a 1-minute cooldown, and this is just going to be another addition to your burst rotation. And so far, the theme I'm seeing, guys, is that our sustain damage is going to be much more consistent, and our burst damage is going to be much more deadly. You guys, these changes seem small, but they're not, okay? It's going to be, the core gameplay is going to be there. It's going to feel, you're going to feel right at home. But the deadliness, guys, the deadliness is going to be so much more prevalent than it is in the game. Now, Beast Mastery is a really, let's be honest, is an easy spec to play. It's got a simple rotation. It's got a fun rotation. It's got a fun play style, but it's easy, which is why it hasn't been one of those top tier specs in the past, at least in Battle for Azeroth. I'm getting a little sidetracked, but point being, you're going to see a lot more BM Hunters going into Shadowlands. All right, now let's talk about our Dire Beast. Okay, it's getting a buff. It's basically the same, just it doesn't cost focus anymore. Great. All happy for it. 100% okay with that. Scent of Blood is getting a pretty decent rework. It used to say Barb Shot generates 8 additional focus over its duration. Now, it says activating Bestial Wrath grants 2 charges of Barb Shot. So it's different. It's a totally different ability. But we didn't really need it the way that it was because we don't need that additional focus generation. We already have it. Now, giving us 2 charges of Barb Shot when we activate Bestial Wrath, this is way better. As we know, casting Barb Shot reduces the cooldown of Bestial Wrath, so immediately getting 2 charges of it as you cast Bestial Wrath is going to make the cooldown and the path back to your next Bestial Wrath that much easier and that much smoother. Yet another way Beast Mastery Hunters are getting more consistent and more deadly. Spitting Cobra is also getting a rework. You used to take it as a castable ability, but now if you take Spitting Cobra, the Spitting Cobra summons when Bestial Wrath ends. So instead of you having to cast it in the middle of your rotation, let alone remember to cast it at all, it's now going to activate as soon as your Bestial Wrath is over, which is basically going to make it so that your damage buff from Bestial Wrath is just going to basically last longer, right? Now, also, Spitting Cobra was also moved from the level 50 talent row to the level 35 talent row. Now, you would have never taken Spitting Cobra if you were competing against Aspect of the Beast. But now, all Spitting Cobra has to compete against is Murder of Crows. Now, I still think I'm going to take Murder of Crows, personally. But the point is, now you have a choice. And lastly, Stampede's cooldown got reduced to 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes. But let's be honest, who the hell uses Stampede? Honestly, I mean, if you do, seriously, let me know down in the comments and let me know if it's a viable choice and in what kind of content that it's a viable choice. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out the videos to the right if you want to keep watching content just like this. And make sure to click this little circle right here, subscribe to my channel. Trust me, it's going to be worth it. Beast Mastery Hunters, Godspeed on your hunt, and everybody else, watch out. We're coming for you. This is Blue Monkey. Peace out.